usually near canals and some other low-lying areas that are in flood zones. So residents of those areas may be impacted by this change into a municipality. Perhaps initially negatively affected, perhaps in the future through the efforts of the municipality, if they come to be better off. But that's something important that I want to highlight, because that is one function that goes automatically to cities once they incorporate. And that's what I have. I have much longer presentation, but I want to go. Yes.
I have a question. Did you have anything
Get your name and address.
Delilah Collins. Address 16402 Southwest 99th Place, Miami, Florida 33157. Do you have anything to do with the soil?
Yes, well, Derm has a lot to do with soil.
Because
there are many contaminated
recently
sites that
there's
Derm
something
monitors.
wrong with the soil in my
When you say
area.
soil, you mean like sinking soil?
No.
Contaminated soil?
I'm talking
Smelly
about
soil
where
or
they
what?
discovered
Arsenic?
arsenic in the soil.
Yes.
You take care of that, or is that something
Derm
that you
is
become a...
environmental agency for the county, and when you heard recently the county closing several parks, Christmas Park and other parks, the Derm Department, Environmental Resources Management, or division now, is the one that takes care of following up on the assessment and cleanup of those sites. So
Even once we become a municipal, you still are responsible for cleaning that up, or?
Well, we're not responsible for cleaning it up. We're following up. We're responsible for doing enforcement or bringing the responsible party, which may be the government itself, into assessing the contamination and cleaning it
Who's
up.
responsible for cleaning it up?
Well, the owner is responsible for cleaning it up in most cases.
That would be the municipal.
If it's
Am I
in a
correct?
county park, if it's in a county park, the
It
municipality.
is a county park.
If it's if it's in a county park, the county, if it happens to be in a municipality, and like in this case, it's the city of Miami, the one that I'm thinking of.
Municipality, this is a park that's already in there. So would we be responsible for cleaning that up?
Yep.
Yes. I mean, that, I'm sorry that we have to go to court, but the owner of the county, the owner of the company. Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Philip Murray. My address is already on the record. Besides drinking water, the next concern that I have is the same concern that young lady just brought up right there. I know that there are two parks in this area. One was Chapman Field, the other one was Colonial Drive Park. Okay, so I know that there's approximately 261 parks located throughout Dade County. So I'm just kind of wondering, if you find arsenic or whatever's in the ground on that park, how many other parks are in the pipeline, and who's responsible for ensuring that those parks are being checked? Because just like Herb, if I live in an incorporated area, I'd hate to find it 2 years down the line or a year down the line that another park comes up with all this stuff, and now we got to pay for it to get it clean, when it was a responsibility of Dade County all the time.
When several parks tested contaminated, I know the Department of Vision conducted surveying of several parks in that area. I frankly don't know, because it's not really my area, how widely they went, if they went county-wide. I'm sure that's something that could be requested at some point for some agency to work for us. They go and take samples. A lot of the times, the sites that we know now, appears that they were contaminated because of poor practices that took place in the past. It was either there was a glass factory nearby, or there have been some other industry that may have dumped the chemicals. They're not intrinsic to the parks, although treated wood does have arsenic and other
Yeah, the red mulch
liquids
especially.
that are used for treatment. They may have contaminated, but in those cases, they may be more contained and localized to the area where the treated wood may have been planted. But it could be anywhere.
Could you stand up, please?
Delilah Collins. I'm listening to you again, because we're talking about some of the communities that are old, as in my community, Colonial, Richmond Park, West Bryan Park. These are areas that have been there for years and years when they weren't even testing. Now they're starting to test, and now we're talking about becoming a municipal. So this could be a very expensive thing. Is this something that can be done, that can be, these parks can be checked before we become a municipal?
In fact,
Mr. Chair, I think I can help a little bit with that. The Parks Department is in the process of checking the parks. They have a they were 70% through with the 271 parks that are in the entire system. So somebody from the Parks Department, we can, as a board, we can ask for the information on where that report is. Because I understand your concern if the directive is going to be that the cleanup or the identification of that condition is identified after the park. If the area incorporates, then of course the municipality, while they were not involved in its review, would now be the owners of the park. So I think that the Parks Department is well along with that review process. So far, I know that the commission, that's one of the reasons why each commissioner is notified about contaminations in their area right away, so that they can make sure that the community is aware and that they're aware of those types of cleanups that are going on. So I think we could probably get more information on that, on how far along the Parks Department is.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be really important, because a lot of us have been in these neighborhoods for years and years and years and years, and I think Colonial is newer than Richmond Heights, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I did check.
I think that's great, if I may, but the department does keep a record of all non-contaminated sites. In fact, it was one of the slides that I had here, and to be frank, I removed it because I thought maybe it wasn't really that relevant to the group at this point, but we do keep a record of all non-contaminated sites, and I can make that available to whoever the board or whoever wants. If they want, they're easy to obtain. I mean, there's some that are not just parks, there's more like private gas stations and some other things. I didn't think that works. That's a good point. Yes.
Yeah, down at 14800 Polk Street, two quick questions. One, could you provide us with a map of all the brownfields that you have in the target area itself?
I believe there's 2 brownfields in the area. Another slide that I removed because I thought nobody would care, but I can give you, if you give me your name.
I've had a history on 168 and 107 Avenue, first-hand experience of a report that said it wasn't, and Mr. Bell will tell you it was, after going down 6 feet. But
There are
so
two,
I'm concerned about that portion, but also what I understand is that the federal government provides dollars to clean up Brownsfield. So I don't see the big problem with the Brownsfield. Matter of fact, there are some people that are looking for Brownsfield to do their program to clean it up in order to use it as usable land. So I don't see Brownsfield a problem. I just don't want. I just don't want to start a project again and begin to figure out that the tractor was going underground or something.
I have to say this.
And it was said by your office that it wasn't a Brownsfield. It was a Brownsfield. There were 168 and 107. So I've had some first-hand experience. So I really want to know where they are or where they're identified at point blank. And I think one, and then two. In the last 10 years, with the downsizing of your department itself and bringing everybody together, we've had a big lack of enforcement in our communities, and I'm wondering, should we look at the possibility of adding a zoning code enforcement group within there to deal with some of our newly created institutions within our community, if you know what I mean. Because we don't get the enforcement that we should, and I'm not pointing the finger at you. I just know that I remember when Bldg&Zoning used to be 6 floors, you know, and everybody, or what have you. We're not in those days no more, so we don't have a staff, and so should we be considering having our own code enforcement and zoning? Because I know some communities have done that in terms of that, or what have you.
It may be people from building or from zoning would like to address your second part. I just want to have a clarification on the first part. And Brownsfield is a specially classified area approved by the state for potential cleanup, possible tax breaks for future development, all that. It doesn't mean that every park is a brownfield. The 2 brownfields that I'm familiar for this area are along US 1, pretty much Rhine, and a little bit further north along US 1. But just because a park is there doesn't mean that the federal government.
I'm not dealing with parks.
And
What I'm
yes,
saying,
there are parks
identified.
outside.
I'm not even at parks. I'm talking about identified areas in the community I'll give my other example again. When we take 184 and we go down 137 Avenue all the way to 248th Street, we know it's not completed area or what have you, and I've asked for somebody to tell me, what is the plan for that area in terms of that going to be a road all the way through, is it under construction, or what's supposed to happen. Now, if you go down there, it's kind of like in no man's land because it ends somewhere. So, I'm not necessarily a brownfield, but it's a dump, it's whatever. So somebody has to clean it up.
Just want to
You
make a
follow
distinction
what I'm
between a
saying?
brownfield and a contaminated site, that's quite different.
Right.
I don't know, somebody from zoning or building, terms,
Okay.
enforcement, I think it's pretty much the same, that has been downsized. I'm not sure.
But should we consider having our own in-house?
Well, the environmental issues, as far as I know, we need to remain with Derm, with that division, with that department. They're not delegated, because these actions are not delegated to the community.
The violation of code enforcement.
Code enforcement with zoning, with building, or with environmental? What are you talking about? I think I heard.
I'm talking about the quality of a neighborhood. I have a construction company in a residential area, and I don't have, it's not properly zoned, et cetera, et cetera. Those kinds of things. I have a chicken farm, within certain things. You follow what I'm saying? Because you don't have the manpower, and saying, should there be consideration? And we consider having, again,
I just wanted, would you, I'm sure you have plenty of experience with working with municipalities as Derm, correct? So as Derm, when you go in to do work for a municipality, the municipality or the homeowner, whoever is paying for this inspection, pays the county for Derm, and then they also end up paying the new city their fees for the Derm too. It's not just the county fee anymore. There's two sets of permit fees.
Like I was saying, we charge fees at the time of reviewing a plan, regardless and separate from even the building department, much more than municipality. So when we review a plan, let's say for the installation of a dry cleaner, we charge the user that's bringing us the plan. So it's a service fee.
Okay.
It's not linked to the municipality.
Okay, so Derm would do that, and if it was like a dry cleaner, then Derm would go to the county building and zoning to get the okay from the county, and then the city, the municipality, would end up also charging for their,
No.
no?
If I can correct that.
Yeah, that's what I want to
If the
know.
municipality's formed, the municipality would take the functions of the building department and zoning functions.
Right.
So the person opening this dry cleaner would go to the municipality, pull a permit, it would go to zoning in that municipality for review, and then it would have to come to Derm for their review. So that municipality would charge those fees to that permit holder, and then they would have to go to Derm, and Derm would charge fees to that permit.
So it's not like occupational licenses where they double the fee or anything like that? I mean, what I want to know is, can the municipality, you might charge $75 for your service, but the municipality might charge me $125. They may only pay you $75.
No.
Well,
They're not allowed to do that?
I'm sorry, if I may. In the case of now, you mentioned, for example, occupational license or the
That's
business tax
different.
fee or certificate of use. When a certificate of use from a municipality comes to us, we do charge for the review $75.